What's up guys, and welcome to another video here on Abster TCG. So today I wanted to do some viewer farming. So I'm doing the things that gives the most views right now, I think, and that's the ban list predictions. So today I'm going to do a ban list prediction for the One Piece card game. So Bandai recently announced that we are going to get a ban list now in August, and I think they will do as they done like these last times, where they do a ban list for the East and the West at the same time. So taking into some like things accounted to this list, I'm going to go over my thoughts, what I think, and then do a little bit for wishlist, take what they ban, maybe it could be a limit, or maybe they could get something back. So yeah, let's just stop this yapping and let's get into it. So with the ban list here, you can see the cards I've highlighted here. I think if we look at both the Eastern and Western format together, I think there's probably like 4 decks right now that are in like the range of maybe going to get a hit. And those 4 decks are the ones I'm going to take into account for now. So the first one is of course UP Luffy. I think it's like the most played, most dominating deck right now. I know at least it did really well in the East. It has done slightly worse in the West, but like UP Luffy is on the top of the list right now, probably for likeness or taking a hit. I also think that the GP is in the zone where probably going to get hit. It might be a hit that is collateral for both decks, and I think you all know what card I'm talking about. And then we also have the Green Zoro. I don't think they want to like hit it directly, but there might be one card specifically that are a little bit too strong for that color. And then we also have Betty, which has like won every EU event during this format, won most of the regionals. Yeah, so let's just get into the list. So the first card we have here is Gum Gum Giant. I am going to do this because these are like kind of go together. So what I feel and what I want and what I think is the most likely is that they just straight up gonna ban Giant. I feel like this card is way too strong. It does too much for both of the Luffy, or I mean I would say all of the Luffy decks or Stuart leaders. I think like 3 really good decks and 1 like okay deck plays it right now in the format, and like everyone who's played against it is just too strong. And I don't even think like the effect is broken by itself, but it also opens up this like deck building, so you can build your deck essentially really greedy because you can play less counters than your opponent, and having more cards without counter than your opponent is going to mean that your average card is stronger than your opponent's. For example, with Sunny Pudding, it should probably have been like a 5-6 with 1k counter, or Zoryuri could be a 4-5 with 1k counter, but instead they have like 1000 extra instead, taking away that counter, which means that every card you play is a lot stronger than your opponent's, and you don't really get punished by having so few cards non-counter. And same for UP Luffy, that also plays a lot of non-counters. So I think like Giant is probably going to get the ban. Something they also could do is limit the Giant and maybe slightly touch the decks in other ways if they still want Giant in this format. And I think being at 1 takes away this option to deck build really greedy, because you won't have it as consistently. But also I feel like 1 Giant a game, it could be fine. I feel like the most broken thing is where they like do Giant into Giant or have multiple Giants. And also taking into account that they are going to give it a alt art, but I think that might be because they gave like all the other 4 events from that set to alt art, so I don't know if that like scheduled, but it could be that the Giant gets a limit, or it might even stay, but I hope it gets a ban. If they decide not to touch Giant and try to touch decks the other ways, I think the 2 cards that they could ban is Linlin and Margo. So I feel like Linlin has like having the tool to heal in purple is like it's a little bit too good almost. You could say that's not what the color is supposed to do or intended to do. And I feel like having that option for other colors than yellow is a little bit broken sometimes, because you are the ramp color, and then you suddenly get like the healing, which is identity of another color. So I feel like if they want to touch the deck, they could ban Linlin, which means that UP can't like like the grind game is going to get worse because they're not going to be able to heal. They cannot look at top 5, take the Linlin stack like a trigger, like a Grav Blade or a Ramp triggers that plays around like card like Hodi or Deadman's Game. So I think if Giant stays, I think they should ban Linlin for the deck, and I think it will still be good, but it would be a lot less, like it would be a lot weaker, because you don't have that option of healing, which actually is insane into a lot of decks. And then for GP, I think the card they could touch if they end up leaving Giant is Marigo, to straight up ban it. I think the card is really good. It's 1 on draw 1, so it's actually replaces itself, which is really good. And the effect is insane that like once per turn you can tap it to increase something with 2, like giving Sunny Pudding to a 7 cost, which makes a lot of decks having a hard time to interact with it and just like interact with everything. Some turns you can go Marigo, play another Marigo and protect 2 Sunny Puddings, which means like you removing 2 7 cost, it's super hard to do, so you can mostly just remove 1, if only, like if you can remove 1. So I feel like touching Marigo would give the deck slightly less consistency, because you essentially play 46 cards in the deck with Marigo, because you don't really care about your early turns, you just want to play these searchers. So if they ban Marigo, there's going to be a lot of more options to punish GP, and it will be a lot harder for them to stick the 5 Kosani Pudding. So you don't like, I don't know if Giant kills the deck, but it's probably a worse hit. But yeah, they can do either or else, but I am going to say that Giant is probably going to get the ban. That's just what I assume. And for the next card here, we have Ivankov on the suspects. Yeah, if you look at Betty, it's been performing insanely good in the West here, and it did in the East too during OP11. In OP12, I seen the deck has dropped off a little bit because that's because Zoro is in the format, and a lot of people playing Zoro, it just auto wins against your deck. Is a 5-life leader who like aggressively can go board, tap your things, and you starve, you just swing on your board, so you can never build it up and do these big push turns. And even if you manage to build a board and do a push, you only get like 3 life from the opponent, so they still have a lot of cards in hand and still having life. So I don't know how good the deck will be in OP12, but maybe if they hit other decks, this deck kind of needs to go. And also if we look at previous bans like Moria, when it wasn't that relevant, they just did it for the design space option. And I feel like just straight up banning Ivankov is like a good option for balance. One reason too is because it's not rotating this year, so it will stay for another year, which actually could limit card design options if they want to release more Red Revolutionary cards, maybe for Dragon or for the Zabo leader coming up. So I just feel like the card is too good to be able to like balance around, and like, yeah, it's just an insanely good card. And I think that if they want to touch Betty, I think that they will ban Ivankov, and I think that will be the ban. And then after that we have used as Captain Kid. I think this card is, or we could actually grab 2 of the green cards. I feel like green as a color has been like this color in the shadows, not doing that much. Like once in a while they get like good decks and tops, but they have never been like on the top, except green purple. But I'd say that more of a purple deck, just having green because the leader is green, and you play like some of the utility cards that are green. And I would say that the suspects for green is probably used as Captain Kid and Hodi Jones. I'm going to start say with Kid. I don't think they will touch this card. The reason why is because a lot of the decks that played use as Captain Kid, like Bonnie, like the Smoker, Red Green Smoker, has actually dropped it for the new Miyok, which means that yeah, it's probably only Green Yellow Law who actually plays it right now. I don't know, maybe Bonnie plays it still at some copies, but and Rosinante, I guess. But I think that now I'm also a little bit biased because I play green yellow, but I feel like the Kid is not going to be touched. It's also rotating this April, so I don't think it's probably necessary. Also, something I wanted to add is that Bandai probably has like this longer span, like maybe 9 months planned with products, so they maybe even have the whole next year like designed, or like kind of designed what they want to do, at least archetype wise. So for them they can make it easier. Like, okay, this year we will design like this, and next year these cards will rotate, so we don't have to ban them. So for example, if they don't have any like red revolutionary cards planned, and Betty's not going to be a deck, maybe they don't have to ban Ivankov. But I just wanted to say that they probably have like the foresight that we don't have, that some bans might make sense later on. Yeah, so, but if you take a look at the next one, we have Hodi Jones. I would even argue that this is probably after Giant the best card in the game. Being a 7/8 rush that taps 2 things is just insane. It's good to play on curve, it's good to play in late game, closes out games, wins you games, and just getting a 7/8 rush it's insane, I would say. And like, I think every green deck actually just auto includes at least 3 Hodis in them, because the card is so good. The sad part about it is that it nerfs the worst green decks like Jimbe and maybe Rosinante, you could argue, but I feel like they have to, if they want to support those archetype with a card like it, they could print something that's locked to the leader. So they could print a Hodi that's locked to Fishman, for example, and that might be the case in the future, like we saw with Gecko Moria getting the new 6-drop. So that might be for the future, but I would say Hodi is hopefully, and I would even say probably getting the ban, because like the card is so strong, and I think it's hard to design a card that's better than Hodi. Like if you manage to do it, then like the card will be giga broken. So, and I think this hits Zorro, this hits Smoker, this hits, I don't think it hits Law anymore because you have Deadman's Game, and yeah, and you also get the Deadman's Game event, which is also really strong, but I would say that it's not as good as Hodi Jones as a card. And then if we take a look at the next 2, we have the blue events, Red Rock and Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. I feel like both of these cards are really strong, and they are a little bit polarizing for the decks that play them, because like either like Red Rock is good against certain decks and cards, and Grav Blade is good against certain decks and cards. I feel like they kind of split their usage, with the exception of Teach, where Teach folds to both of them, sadly. As my bias here too. No, but I feel like one of these events maybe are going to go. Like we saw Raigo getting banned, which is straight up a worse version of Red Rock. But also like Gravity Blade being able to just like auto win some matchups. Yeah, because it's a broken hair fly going on here, so you have to do it away. So I'm actually going to say that I am going to put Gravity Blade in the wish list, and that's like probably 50% bias, 50% logical, because I think that a lot of people think this event is strong, and like if they in the future are going to design another blue and black leader, I think this will be one of the cards that are really broken for the deck, because it bot decks, and like if you have something that already reduces on board, or you play a reducer, then you can just like grab like 2 big things because it's 2/6 cost for 7. So I think this card is a little bit too strong, and you also have the trigger of bot decking a 5 cost, which like this card is just insane. So it's on the wish list for me, and I don't think they will touch Red Rock. And one of the reasons to it is that it will rotate. And to me, Gravity Blade is the better card. So either ban, but I'm gonna say wishlist because I don't know if they will actually do it. And then for the next card here we have Gum Gum Mole Gun. I put it here because it's a interesting card to talk about, because I feel like it's probably like the best red event right now. It's just a straight up better version than Honesty Impact. And like decks like Smoker, Zorro, and like Rayleigh, there's a lot of other aggro decks who can run it, and I feel like aggro decks having this tool might be too good, because like aggro decks are not designed to be able to control the deck in that case. Like if you spam a lot of bodies early game and then you like Mulligan a mid-range drop from the opponent that's usually used to like slow down the aggro decks, and you just straight up win because you have the resources. I feel like it is a little bit too strong for these decks, and I don't think they're going to ban it, but I put it here in the wish list, and I would say like this is also personal bias. So all of these opinions you may not agree with. Comment down below for the algorithm, and you know, I have to rage bait a little bit. No, but I think that Molgan could be on the suspect list for Bandai, but in this case, like for Red Wing Smoker, for example, they killed 2 of the better cards. I still think the deck is probably playable, but yeah, I think Molgan is broken, and I think Honest Impact is more of a fair card, so they might want to push Honest Impact more, that you have to spend a little bit more Don to do something this impactful, and that will also concur the aggro decks from playing this card or a card like this. So I think this is like the cards that are active right now. I think that these 3 will get banned, or at least I hope so. And I think that there's a chance for either of these getting banned. Also, that's also my personal bias, of course. But I feel like this like could shape up the format a lot, because all of these cards are really impactful for the archetypes, and could maybe give room to some of the other leaders, because now we've been playing in this Luffy format for a while. Lucci like is still roaming around. There's a lot of decks here. Oh, and I also forgot to put one card here, and it's the 4-cost Rebecca. I think the 4-cost Rebecca also could get into the ban range, because the card is so good, and also the same thing there, it's going to be really hard to design around when having such a good card. And like Rebecca is one of the reasons Moria were so broken, because like a Tempo Moria for a 4 and a 2-drop, of course it's really good, but it's really good when you can go like Rebecca, Hina, and then you play Spandine, and then you play like Lucci, or you just do the combos. So yeah, I think that Rebecca also could be in the wish list or ban, because it's such a great card for black, doing a little bit too much in my opinion. And then if we look at the cards here, I put these 4. We could talk a little bit about unbans. I think I forgot to have Ain's Lobby in it, but I don't think that's that interesting, because the card is just broken. Yeah, because I think these are like the other ban cards. Maybe I missed one. But Sakazuki, I want to put it on the wish list to get back, because I think this card is, or like this leader is like one of the most fun leaders I played. It's consistent. It's like a 4-life leader. So it's slightly weaker on that side. And yeah, it has the broken color combination of being blue and black. So it might be really hard to get it off the ban list. But as I said, if Bandai already planned like the whole next year out the sets, what they're going to be about, then maybe they see that, okay, Sakazuki will not get that much broken support, so we can actually unban it and see what it does. But I think that that might also be taking a risk, because there's still some really good cards for blue and black, for example, with Rebecca still being in, Hina doing all these combos, Hina rotating, but I still think that Sakazuki might need to get banned. But in my wish list, I hope he comes back, of course. And then we have Reject. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it here. This card was a mistake to print. Just like doing 1 damage for 4, it is too good, and you also have the option to KO something, so it's never like a real brick. And I think the trigger is not that bad idea. You draw cards, you can cycle it off. So I think Reject should stay on the ban list and should never have been printed. Red Purple Law, yeah, should also stay on the ban list. I think this leader is way too good, and I think if it was legal today, I think that would be like maybe even tier 0 range, because it like the bot deck mechanic, it's so fast, it refills hand with Rager. There's so much things this deck can do, so keep this one on the ban list. Then we have Moby Dick. I also think that this card should stay on the ban list. Like giving everything 2k during your turn is just like, it's just too strong of an effect. Like even though it might like, yeah, it might be okay for Whitebeard to have it, to play around with it, but I feel like it's kind of bad of a design card by how much it's doing. And I think the intention of it was that I don't think they thought that Whitebeard would be that good of a deck as it is, or as it became. So I feel like this card should actually stay on the ban list. Yes, so this was it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm almost at 5k. Yeah, I hope I'll hit there soon. I also have this TCG player affiliate link down below, which if you buy cards from TCG player, you can click it, and then I get a small commission, not condition. Yeah, so yeah, this was it. Thank you, and see you in the next one.